Welcome to Tech in the Right Direction, the podcast. This week, I'll be speaking with Courtney Quinn. Courtney is the Senior Director of Career Change Marketing at CompTIA, the largest trade association for technology professionals. Courtney has played a vital role in the organization's efforts to help over 2 million people earn tech certifications and gain the skills they need to succeed in the tech industry. With a strong background in both technical and leadership roles, Courtney is a valuable resource for anyone looking to start or advance their career in technology. Connect with her to know more about your potential to launch a tech career and how to get ahead in the industry. Welcome to the show, Courtney. I'm so excited to have you on.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. I'm so appreciative of you to create this space for this conversation.
That's great. Well, let's get started. So, Courtney, as a woman in tech, can you share with us your career journey and how you got to where you are today?
I absolutely can. And I am so privileged to say that, Jennifer, you are a major reason why I am where I am today in my
Oh,
career. It's true. You might not remember this, but following college, I became a freelance writer. And at first, the job was a dream because it offered a ton of flexibility and freedom. It helped me build great skills like managing a book of business and everything that comes along with that. But before long, I started noticing that my peers were promotions and buying houses and going on
hmm
nice vacations. And I wasn't, and I couldn't. And I wanted more, but I had capped out.
hmm
So I began interviewing for full-time marketing jobs and accepted a job at Directions Training as your marketing
Yeah,
coordinator.
yeah, we were so
Yeah.
lucky to have you.
Oh, it was a great time. And during that time, I really admired how you always led with your why. You taught me that tech careers could open doors to fulfilling work and great pay, work-life balance for anyone who pursued a tech
hmm
career, including me.
hmm
So I was hooked on that message and excited 3 years later when I learned that CompTIA was launching a line of learning products and they were looking for a marketing manager to reach their consumer audience with that exact message that tech
hmm
can open doors for them if they can learn the skills. So I've been at CompTIA now for 5.5 years. In
Wow,
that time,
time
I know
flies.
it flies. And in that time, I have been promoted 3 times.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. It's a great organization. And currently, I have the privilege of leading the consumer marketing team that reaches 40 million job seekers and shares with them the benefits of working in IT and how they can change careers to IT.
So it seems like it's come full circle almost, where you started and now you're really sharing that experience with others so that you can bring more people into tech careers.
It's so true. And I always go back to the first time I ever spoke to you. You said, tech opens doors for everyone. It can
hmm
get better paying jobs, give you the freedom in life, and give you nicer vacations. And oh, the list just goes on. So it really has come full circle.
And I really believe that because, everybody we've helped, everybody that we've encouraged, everybody that we've motivated and inspired to come into tech has really done well. So I
Yes.
think a lot of it is also you because you put a lot of good work and passion and loyalty into your position. So I think that comes back to you, tenfold, but
Mm.
it also is a great industry.
It is a great industry.
That's great. Well, I'm so happy that you are just thriving in your consumer marketing position. I always want the best for you and your family to have better vacations, and I'm so proud that you
Thank
have three
you.
promotions. That's
Yes,
amazing.
thank you. It is
Yeah,
amazing.
that's great. Well, share with us what it means to unlock potential.
Yes, this has been a big quote that CompTIA has been using. You might see it in some of our marketing because it's really twofold what it means. First, we're acknowledging that there is a tech talent gap. Quite frankly, not enough skilled tech workers to support
Mm-hmm.
the digital economy that we've
Mm-hmm.
created. And there's so much potential there. I think we can all agree that the tech landscape is very evolutionary, and we're about to see some more big changes with AI coming on the scene so strong, and just all of the wonderful work that's going into the technology industry.
That's great. And
It
you
is
and
great.
CompTIA are doing some good work around this. So, what are some of the barriers that keep people away from technology careers? What are you finding?
Yes. Oh, so much that we have people think that getting into IT costs a lot of money, that it takes a long time, that it's hard, that it requires these skills that they don't remotely have and can never get. And Jennifer, a mind blowing statistic, 55% of job seekers think those things. So we have millions of people who have these perceived barriers about getting into tech, and what we find is they really don't even entertain the idea. They gravitate to industries that they know. They Everyone knows nursing and medical
Mm-hmm.
field. Everyone knows manufacturing, but
Mm-hmm.
people really don't know tech, and their confidence is low. They think they have to know math and science. They think they need
Mm-hmm.
all of the soft skills. They need to be the next Steve Jobs. And quite frankly, none of that is true.
Mm-hmm. So true. And we find also a lot of people, including women, think that tech means coding and you
Yeah.
have to sit behind a computer and code all day. And they say, I don't want to do that. And
Yes.
you don't have to be in a programmer to be in tech. There's so many job roles. Look at you. You've done marketing.
Yes.
There's sales. There's research. There's so many different job roles in tech that people miss that as well.
You're absolutely right. And I think another big thing we miss is we think all tech jobs are the Facebook jobs or the
Mm-hmm.
Amazon jobs. And quite frankly, we've been really let down this year by seeing some mass layoffs come out of
Mm-hmm.
our big tech sweethearts. And
Right.
it's not true that there are tech jobs at every organization. And the work that you would do in a tech job at a pet store is going to be very different than the work that you would do if you're a full-time coder at a Facebook.
Yeah. No, very true. Um, so, how is CompTIA helping to bridge that gap for people looking to change careers into technology?
This is something that's really close to my heart because I do joke that in marketing, the best job you could give somebody is to have them give away free products. And and that's really my job, is connecting job seekers with these compelling tech specific resources
Hmm.
that they need to make decisions to take that first step towards tech and then that next step towards tech. So a couple examples are, we have a wonderful CompTIA IT salary calculator that
Mm.
actually you can go in and you can plug in it where you live, what your experience level is, the type of job role you're looking at, and it will tell you, here's what you should expect to earn now at the beginning of your career. Here's what you should expect to end as you advance your career.
Wow, that's great. That's
It is.
nice to have. It gives you a true picture of what the IT world is like from a salary perspective.
Yes,
That's
it's
great.
very important, and I know we'll talk about it more, but really important for women to know what their worth is and what the value,
Hmm.
their skills are in the tech industry, because I think sometimes we go in blind. So
Right.
having those important free resources has been a great tool for CompTIA to really attract job seekers and then help them become more confident in their abilities.
That's great. So, thank you to CompTIA for building these tools that help change careers, for people that maybe are looking to go into a new career but don't know where to begin. And so, how do you help job seekers realize their potential? We talked about unlocking potential, but how do you
Mhm.
help them realize what their potential is?
This is one of my favorite questions because I get to talk to job seekers all the time. And I just started coming up with a really simple saying to help everyone memorize this process.
Hmm.
And I call it own it, know it, grow it.
I
And
love
so
it.
first for own it, I say you need to own your transferable skills. Own the skills you have today and make them your competitive advantage. Goes back to the barriers that we believe and that keep people from pursuing tech is that we don't think that our quote unquote soft skills are valuable in the tech workspace. And that could not be further from the truth. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, we don't even call them soft skills anymore. We call them durable skills because
Mm,
they are so important and foundational to your performance in a tech role that really knowing that and owning those skills is your first step to realizing your full potential in tech.
that's great. And then growing it.
Yeah,
What's
grow
about
it.
that?
And I have to back up quickly to know it, which is financial goals.
Mm,
You need to know where you want to go in life, which is, again, going back to that IT salary calculator. We can all say that we want to have really fulfilling work, really life giving work, but until we know exactly how much we make, that's kind of the first thing that's on every job seeker's mind. Well, how much can I make in this
mm-hmm,
role?
mm-hmm,
And so, really, you need to know what your goals are and you need to know the steps that it's going to take to get there. If your goal
mm-hmm,
is to make $150,000, you can do that in tech.
mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm.
have to have that goal so we can work backwards and see the steps you need to take to get there.
Yeah, and you start at a certain part and then you advance. Like you got three
Yes.
promotions. They can also work hard to get those promotions and align their skills to that.
Yes, that's exactly it. Exactly. And that's where skill building comes in. Grow it.
Mm-hmm,
Really, we know that nobody will ever be happy if they stay stagnant in their skills. Everyone, it's our human nature that we want to grow and learn.
mm-hmm,
And in tech, the learning is endless. You can grow skills that you need to take that first step towards your career. But then once you kind of open that door for yourself, you're going to continue building skills and advancing your career because tech is just a big evolution.
mm-hmm.
So really growing those skills, it becomes this life practice that you have as you lean into tech. So I tell people own it, know it, grow it.
I love it. And when you say no, own it, know it, grow it, I'm thinking IT instead of it. And it fits perfectly. Own IT, know IT, and grow IT. I don't know.
It sure does. Yes.
That's great. That is great. So you've had an incredible career in tech that, you've reached out and made it really good. What challenges have you faced in your career and how have you overcome them?
I thought about this question ahead of time, and I thought it was just so important to share a conflict that I had
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
several years with a fellow colleague.
Mm,
This colleague, it's a woman, and she and I are very similar, yet you could
mm,
cut the tension between us with a knife.
mm,
Um, we reported to the same boss for several years, and admittedly, our boss was at a loss at what to do with us.
mm,
You could tell it made a rather talented team um, very very crippled in how we
mhm,
could actually move our goals forward.
mhm.
So the turning point was that
It
my
felt
boss.
like you were in competition constantly, I bet.
Yes, it
Mhm,
did. It really did. And instead of leveraging one another's strengths, I think we were kind of cutting each other off at the
mm,
knees.
mhm,
So the turning point was when our boss brought in a professional coach.
mm,
And that coach, she issued some assessments, some personality assessments, some work style assessments to our whole team, which I believe was about 8 people at the time. And
mhm,
then she followed up with an in person session with all of us where we had the opportunity to really dig deep and be vulnerable. And
mm.
it was after that session that things started to get better. But what's very interesting, the biggest turn of events is that today, my colleague and I, we do report into the same leadership,
Mm.
but work together so well. In fact, she's one of my favorite people to work with at CompTIA. But yeah,
Oh,
just do not tell
wow.
her that. But that'll
No.
be our secret.
That's amazing. So what
Yeah.
do you think happened? Was it being vulnerable? Was it being authentic? Was it really letting loose in your thought process to say, okay, let's change my mindset? What was it?
I think you hit the nail on the head earlier. I think that we were very competitive with each other. And I think that knowing that we were very similar and that in that similarity, we would see things in each other that we both admired, but also were a
Mm,
little hard to look at, a little hard to be confronted with. And being confronted with it was actually a strength because
mm.
now I can see things in her, and I hope she sees things in me that I
I'm
say,
sure she does. Yeah.
yeah, wow, I love the way she handled that situation. I hope that I handle situations like that
Hmm.
instead of being more competitive or looking at it like, oh, well, why did she approach a situation like
Hmm.
that?
Hmm. Instead
Yeah,
of coming back with like a competitive mindset, you had a more
yes.
open mindset, I think.
Definitely.
Mm.
Definitely more open mindset. And again, I'm just so happy that we stuck in it with that relationship, that our boss at the time really pulled out all the stops to help us because we needed that. And today, she and I run very large scale campaigns and we work very closely and do a great job.
That's amazing. And I think,
Yeah.
kudos to your boss that
Yes.
realized the potential for both of you and said, there is so much goodness here. We need to make it better, and got in that professional coach, because sometimes this can get, really out of hand and people don't do that. So I really give your boss a lot of credit for that as well.
I do too. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great point.
Yeah. All right. So very interesting. Thanks for sharing that. So, as you know, this podcast is focused around bridging culture, pay, and employment gap for women in tech. What are you seeing in the industry today from your lens?
Yeah, this is such a critical issue. And I feel for women everywhere that as inflation rises and as things become more expensive, as the rates of childcare continue to go up, we know the pressure that women are feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it a critical time for women to know the value of their skills, which
Mm-hmm.
is why I do love tools like the IT salary calculator because it really shows you what your skills are worth, which I don't think as women we are fully aware of.
That's right. And we don't even give ourselves the credit we deserve.
Right. We
Mm-hmm.
don't.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can look at somebody else's salary through a tool like Glassdoor, or like I said, plug in some salary qualifications to the CompTIA IT salary calculator, all of a sudden your eyes open to
Mm-hmm.
really what your worth should be. And also, if you are going to start at one point in your salary, you need to know that it needs to move up with you as you move up. And that
That's
doesn't
right.
happen unless you know what your worth is and you're asking for those promotions and those raises.
Yeah, in the past, I've mentored people on this topic. And it's so interesting because, some people think, oh, I get paid enough, especially women. We
Yes,
don't give ourselves credit for all the extra stuff we're doing. And when I
right.
pointed out to this woman that I was mentoring, she was like, wow, yeah. I said, think about all the stuff you do and what a value you're providing to your company. And once she realized that, she felt so much more confident.
Wow. That is
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's great. So, yeah, it's changing. I'm seeing more women come into
Mm,
tech. I'm seeing the confidence, especially with the younger generations, increase.
that's
So I'm
great.
hoping and, keeping my fingers crossed that it continues.
I do too. I really do. I think tech is especially a good place right now where I think those conversations are happening, where
Hmm.
women can say, I believe that I am worth this amount of money. And what's our plan to get me there?
So when you're working on this project for bringing more people into tech careers, are you seeing an even amount of women versus men, or is it still more men?
Jennifer, I am so excited you asked that question because I just got a report back last month that said some of our data shows that we are seeing 50% of women interested,
I
50%
am
women,
so
50%
excited.
male,
Yes.
interested in tech
I love
careers.
that. That's so
Isn't that
great to see.
exciting?
Yes,
Yes.
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 That whatever you're doing, keep doing it because we want that equality.
Well, it is, I believe, the collective effort of women in tech everywhere. There's been so many great initiatives. Our STEM programs are doing so well. We're
Hmm.
really targeting young girls and in junior high to help them
Hmm.
learn STEM skills. I think the future is bright for women in tech.
That's great. That's great. So we're almost at the end, but I wanted to ask you, Courtney, who inspires you and why?
Oh, this is such another fun question because, Jennifer, I am so happy I have the forum to say that really you are such an
Oh,
inspiration to
you're
me.
so sweet. You're so
It's
sweet.
true. And not only did you bring me into the tech industry, but you shared your compassion for people. You work tirelessly to help people better their lives by advancing their tech skills.
Oh.
And it's really the foundation on which I stand today. And I learned it all from you.
You are amazing. Thank you for those kind
You
words.
are.
It's really you that does the work behind it. And so thank you for saying all those kind words, but I give you right back all the credit because you are amazing. And I just don't say that lightly. I know I've worked with you, I mentor you, I do a lot of things that we work together, and I really believe in you. So you've done some
Um,
amazing things as well.
Thank you so much. If I could be going at the rate you're going with your podcast and your work on the inner circle and everything that you're doing with, I would be very happy. The list just goes on with you.
You will. You'll outdo me by a long shot by the time you're where I am today.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah. So this is a kind of selfish question because I love to travel and I always take notes for my bucket list of things places I want to go. So where is the most favorite place for you that you've traveled to and why?
Oh goodness. I did not tailor this question. I did not know that this was for a selfish reason that you were
Oh,
asking this.
that's okay. It's still your favorite place. That's the main
My
thing.
favorite place. I just went for the first time to Vail in March.
Ah,
And I
wow.
love skiing and I love ski culture. And I know that this is just a quick question, but I have to tell you that we showed up on a Friday at 11 a.m. and
Mm-hmm.
there was a raging party going on at this
Mm.
ski lodge. And I said, well, it was St. Patrick's Day. So I said, well, that makes sense that there's such a
Mm-hmm.
big party at 11 a.m. And then Saturday came and there was another big party at 11
Mm.
a.m. And then on Sunday, we went downstairs and there was no party. And I said, well, I guess ski culture does take a break from their fun living
On Sundays.
on Sundays. But you know what? The party started at noon that day.
Ah,
So yes, so skiing, ski culture, anything in Colorado is good with me.
I love Colorado too. I'm not a
Mm.
skier, but I love Colorado and I love parties.
Yes.
So you can't go wrong with that. That I really believe travel has to do with more experiences than the actual location. The location is
Mhm.
great, but it's the experience really that makes it a memory and something that you long to do again. And sometimes it's never the same the second time you go, but it's still like your favorite place. So that's great. I love it.
Oh, great. Well, good. I'll
Yeah.
see you on the slopes then.
There you go. I got to learn how to ski first. So thank you for that. That's amazing. So in closing, Courtney, please share with our listeners how they can get a hold of you.
Yes, the best way to get a hold of me is connect with me on LinkedIn. I
Okay.
love getting direct messages on LinkedIn, and I do try to talk to anyone who connects with me, even if you just want some one-on-one career coaching advice. I do
That's
love
great.
to carve out that time to chat with you.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that in your busy schedule. I also would like you to talk maybe for a second as to the career skills moving into a technology career. If there's a website they can go to, or how can people learn more about the program?
Great question. Visit CompTIA.org.
Okay.
In our main navigation, we have a section just deliberately that calls out career changers. If you click on that, there are several articles that move you through from if you're just even thinking about the idea of a career change all the way through when you say, you know what, I'm decided tech is right for me. We have articles at every single level. We have interactive quizzes, and that's our best place to start really researching if tech's right for you.
That's great. So that's a great resource. We'll put that in our show notes as well.
Oh,
So
great.
CompTIA.org. And this way they can get some information. And then if they have questions, they can still reach out to you. That's awesome. Well, thank you,
Awesome.
Courtney. This was an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. The honor is all mine, and thank you for creating a great space for these types of conversations.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to Tech in the Right Direction. Please take a minute to subscribe or follow so that you never miss an episode. Also, don't forget to like, share, and comment. Thank you. See you next week.
From IT skill enhancements to end-user adoption training, Directions Training is your resource to help optimize the effectiveness of your technology investments. Over 500,000 students have taken advantage of our wide selection of technology and business training solutions, covering the most popular applications today, such as Microsoft 365, Azure, Windows 10, and more. As a podcast listener, we invite you to take advantage of an exclusive offer. Receive 30 days of free access to our Microsoft official curriculum, on-demand courses for IT professionals or end users. Visit us at www.directionstraining.com/podcast to claim this offer today. Hurry, this offer is only available for a limited time. Success is a journey. Ask for directions.